on the case.
What's going on, everyone? Designedcoma here. Welcome back. And today we're doing something a little bit different. This is my son.
Hello.
He's I'm not going to tell you his real name. His PSN name is Supersonic
_29.
Supersonic _29. So he plays PSN, and he does play Xbox as well. But lately we've been discussing, and it's been over probably 2 weeks now. We've been talking about if Batman had to resort to low budget, if he had to claim bankruptcy and sell all his stuff to cover everything because he was just completely broke. So we're going to talk about Batman being just a typical middle-class citizen, or middle-class superhero is basically what he would be, as a middle-class superhero. So we first started talking about what would happen. Obviously Batman had to claim bankruptcy. He's now just a middle-class superhero, and he no longer has his Batcave. So what does he resort to now that he doesn't have his Batcave?
Now he lives in a shed, so he's called it the Bat Shed.
So, well, he's not living in the shed. His Batcave is now in the shed, so it's the Bat Shed. So he's got the Bat Shed, and as far as in terms of all his computers and stuff, what does he got in there now as far as computers go?
It's just got like dinosaurs.
Just like dinosaurs, like he went to the
like the first Apple computer.
Went to the pawn shop and just picked up a few computers he could find. Oh, like an Apple IIe. That's his computer now.
Yep.
An Apple IIe. Okay, so he's got an Apple IIe for his computer. It's going to be hard to be doing some crime fighting with that thing.
It'll take a lot more programming.
He's going to take a lot more software. So he's back to the floppy disk days. He's got the Apple IIe. What do you think his? So let's see. We talked about. We also talked about his vehicles. So we've got. Well, let's talk about his house. What's his house going to be like? Does he have? Obviously, he doesn't have his big giant mansion anymore that has the Batcave underneath it. I mean, really, who can't figure that out, right? So he doesn't have his mansion anymore. So his house is. I think he'd be living in a trailer park. If he's got a shed, if it's the Bat Shed, it can't be very secret if it's. So he's living in a trailer park. All right, so he's living in a trailer park now, and he's got a Bat Shed. That's where the Batcave is now. So he's in the trailer park. So is he just living in just a double wide, or is it just like a really cheap camper style, or
just the really cheap camper style? So
really cheap.
It's all in one line. It just goes bedroom, kitchen, and then everything else.
Okay, so there's really not much room for. What about his bathroom? Like, what's his bathroom now?
Well, he couldn't afford a bathroom in his trailer, so now he lives in a porta-john, and he called it the.
He lives in the porta-john?
No, he uses a porta-john, and he calls it the Batajon.
So now it's the Batajon. So he's now. What about Robin's got to be with him? I mean, Robin really can't go anywhere else. I mean, there's no other superheroes that Robin could be a sidekick with. So he's kind of stuck with Batman. He's just stuck with Batman. So now the Batman is middle class, low budget, and Robin. Well, I don't know. I always thought Robin's outfits were a little low budget anyhow. In terms of superhero outfits, but so now that Batman is middle class and he's low budget, he basically has kind of lost it. So he's putting. So we decided he's putting Bat in front of just about everything and anything he says. So anything he says, like if he's got to go to the bathroom, he's gonna say it's off to the Batajon. So let's talk about his vehicles now. So we've got his house. Well, his house. He's living in the Bata trailer. I guess we'll call it the Bata trailer.
The Bat trailer.
The Bat trailer, and the Batcave is now the Bat Shed. his bathroom is a porta john, which is outside. So it's the Batajon. Let's talk about what about his vehicles.
So instead of the Batcycle, now he just rides around on a moped.
And a moped?
He calls it the Batped.
The Batped. So it would be the Batped. It would be the Batped. The Bat. Okay, let's talk about the. Oh, so that would replace the Batcycle. What about the Batmobile? What kind of car would this Batmobile be now? It wouldn't be all cool and have sliding. It wouldn't even have. You wouldn't even be able to call it remotely anymore.
It would just be a lemon.
It would just be a lemon
from like 1900s.
1900s. Well, that's
really
a,
old V.
That's
really
a pretty old car.
That he had to go get
from
the
1900s.
He had to go get it from the dump.
You had to go get it from the dump. Well, I think it would be more along the lines of like a 70s style car. And you may not be familiar with a lot of 70s style cars, but a car that really comes to mind is a Chevette. That was that was the car that people always made fun of. At least when I was growing up. So his Batmobile now becomes the Batvet, because that makes it sound like it's a Corvette. So
just call it the Rolling Bat.
The Rolling Bat.
From like RV.
I guess you could still call it the Batmobile, but
the Bat Lemon.
The Bat Lemon. Yeah, I guess that would work. I don't know. I suppose he could get away with still calling the car, the Batmobile, because I mean it is a car regardless of what it looks like. But so maybe he could hang on to the Batmobile name for the car. So let's see. What about his helicopter, his Batcopter?
It would just be like one of those pedal copters.
Just a pedal copter?
Yeah, it's like one of those pedal copters where it's like a bicycle, and then they put like the rotors on it, and you just pedal so you can fly.
Well, I just had another thought for the Batcycle. What if it's like Dr. Nefario's little scooter? What if it's like the Bat scooter?
The Bat scooter.
The Bat scooter. Let's see. I can't remember what they call those scooters. Little Rascals. I think there were some that are called Little Rascals or something like that. So they're called the Bat Rascal.
The little bat.
The little bat. Okay, so we've got his Batcopter, his Batplane. I don't even think he could afford to have a bat plane.
He would just have a couple of wings on his arms, and he'd just try and flap around like that.
Well, then that's trying to be like Condor Man then.
Well, if he's losing his mind, then.
So okay, I guess as far as I guess he wouldn't be able to have all his vehicles, so I suppose he could do the Batcycle, because mopeds really aren't that expensive. Even if you can find a moped these days, I mean they're not even mopeds anymore. They're full-fledged scooters now. It's actually hard to find mopeds. I'm sure you can find some in the junkyard though. I bet there's plenty of them in a junkyard.
Yeah, he
someplace.
found his moped from the same place where he found his Batmobile.
Okay, so we talked about his vehicle. Let's talk about his tools. All his gadgets. I mean, obviously he's not going to have all of his gadgets. So let's talk about some of the famous ones, like his Batarang. What would happen to his Batarang? I mean, he'd have to give up all these fancy gadgets because he'd have to pay off all his debt.
He'd have a rake instead, and he'd call it the Batarake.
A rake?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what he would be doing. Like if he goes out to do yard work, and and he's headed out to do yard work, and he's like, got to get the Batarake, or he's raking a bunch of leaves, and it's like it's a good thing I got this Batarake. Let's see. As far as his gadgets go, the Batarang, I'm thinking he would just have to do with what he's got. He'd have to put stuff together. Maybe his Batarang ends up becoming the tongs that you use to take stuff off the grill with. Only it's the smaller ones, the smaller tongs, and it ends up being, that's his now Batarang, his Batatongs, some Batatongs.
Or you could just have an old like plastic batter or an old plastic boomerang.
An old plastic boomerang. There we go. Dollar store boomerang. You go get the dollar store boomerang, and you just call it the Batarang. So let's see what else. His outfit. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to have his really cool bat suit, anymore, and it would basically have to just be I don't know. Maybe he'd just put it together with some sheets.
It's just a black T-shirt and jeans.
He'll go to like the secondhand store and just grab a bunch of stuff. You know how sometimes you go there looking for 70s clothes and stuff. If you're going to like a 70s party, you can find a lot of 70s clothes at secondhand stores, and so he goes there to get all his like different pieces that he's going to put together.
He just gets like an old black T-shirt, some old black jeans, and then he puts on like a black ski mask.
Well, here's what I'm thinking he could do. He could take and go and if he's lucky enough, he could score one of the old style Halloween costumes with the plastic mask, the plastic Batman mask with the rubber band on the back, because those things were awful. I mean, I can't remember how many different. I think it was Underdog once too. There was you don't know who you don't know who Underdog is. It's a superhero cartoon.
I saw that one movie that they made about it.
Yeah, that wasn't even close.
Like, Superdog.
So yeah, he could score one of the plastic Halloween masks, and you could use that, and probably the plastic cape too. If he got lucky enough, he could get the plastic cape, so he'd have at least have his cape and his mask. And then he could just take a shirt and just like draw. He could draw the bat symbol.
It would look really bad, and like it would look like it was drawn by like a 2-year-old.
Yeah, you just have it drawn on there. It was all.
No, he takes a black T-shirt and then he like draws it on like a paper plate and then tapes it to his chest.
Cuts it out of the paper plate and sticks it on there. Tapes it to his chest. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. So I think that's all we got for today's video, guys, and we're gonna end it here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget. Excuse me. Don't forget to give it a like, favorite, and subscribe. And kudos to my son. Hats off to him for jumping in on this video, because we've been talking about this for a while. And I hope you guys found it a little bit funny. And if you did, that's awesome. And please leave comments and all that good stuff, and share the video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.